Hey everybody, I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are having a great day today. So today I wanted to kind of do something fun and different and just film in a different area of my home. So today we're here in the little bar area of my home. This is where we kind of hang out and where we make popcorn and drinks and things. And actually you're kind of seeing the back of the bar. The front of the bar is really cool, and maybe I'll showcase some of that here towards the end. My husband actually built this bar, and it's really interesting and cool how he did the woodwork in it. So I'll show some of that at the very end of the video if you want to stay tuned for that. But today's topic will be around the law of attraction and whether or not it's evil. So I've gotten a question, and it's not been my first question about this, but it's been the most recent question I've gotten, and it was regarding the law of attraction, and kind of the question was a little bit fear-based. So it had a little bit of, hey, did you know that, law of attraction, it has evil sides to it, and, it could be seen as evil. And so the other side of it was kind of something that comes from Neville Goddard, and something that he's spoken about not serving two gods or two masters. And so I'm going to give my take on that and what that means for me and how I see the law of attraction and where I get my information of whether it's evil or not, and how I see it that way. So while some people may see it as evil or see it as serving two separate gods, there's actually no separate gods. There's actually nothing separate from yourself. And actually even yourself is not a real self in the form that we think that we are. Like, I think that this is just me in this body, and I'm this person, this limited person that has this life, and the person next to me, that's their life. That's what they're doing. And this is just me. Well, that's not how I see it. I've had a non-dual awakening, which is, just awakening to the reality and the truth of what is. And so in seeing that, it was just very clear to me that there is no one in these bodies. There is no selves. And so what I really ended up seeing was kind of going back further in time, even though time and space is relative, and I'll be speaking about that. Just kind of seeing that there is no one in these bodies. There's nothing that is actually happening, and it's all an illusion. So it's not happening to anyone. So with that understanding, under my belt of what this reality is, the law of attraction takes on a whole different kind of meaning for me. It still works and functions the same way. The law of attraction is still, I would say, a fundamental law of this universe, just like gravity or, some other law that we could talk about. It is just like that kind of law. It is literally like a law like gravity. It can be used, and it's the way that things function, whether or not you want to accept that or not. Things are being manifested all throughout your days, all throughout your life. You've been manifesting, whether or not you realize that or not. So this is just a realization that there is no one doing it. Okay, so if there's no one doing that, if there's no one manifesting or doing any of this, how is that so? How does that make any sense? How is there no one yet someone is manifesting something, right? So that would be the real question that maybe a lot of non-dualists or people that, really see that there is no one there, they want to know, how is this all happening? Well, it's the same question as how is this all happening just in general? How are we having this video or this conversation here or this discussion, right? How is this even arising? Well, it arises from the illusion, and the illusion is just like a projection or a mirror of what's happening within you. So that's all it is. It's not real. Whatever the projection is, whatever you're seeing out in reality is actually not real. It's just a projection of your own mind and your own thoughts and your own beliefs and your own self. But in turn, that is the awareness that encompasses everything and is really woven throughout the whole tapestry of this whole existence or relative existence. But that is all relative. It's an illusion. So we can talk about it all day, how there's no self there, there's no self here, there's no self there. It's just an illusion. We could just wipe that whole conversation out about there's no self there and no self here, and just realize that this is an illusion, okay? And this is just all happening. Now, where we go a little bit further in going into the law of attraction, either it could be further or, however you want to see it, it's in a different direction, is realizing how the law of attraction works in this illusion, in this grand illusion. And so the law of attraction continues to work, just like gravity is keeping us down here, not floating around. The law of attraction is saying yes to everything that we want, all our desires, and even those things that we don't want. If we're really thinking and focusing on them, the universe is saying yes, yes, yes. So, you want that brand new pair of shoes, you're imagining yourself wearing those, the universe says yes, and there they are, you get them. And so maybe you're worrying that you're going to have this extra bill this month and you're not going to be able to pay it. Well, the universe is going to say yes to everything. So it's going to say yes to that too. So here comes that mail in the mailbox, and you get it out, and there it is. It's that bill that you were so afraid of getting. And so you may have heard people talk about, self-fulfilling prophecies, and how people, the more you speak something, the more then that will become true. And especially over kind of negative things, people say, hey, don't say that, because that will turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy. And whether you believe that or not, come to find out, it materializes. Whatever it was that that person was worrying about, if we really look at how things played out for them, it did materialize into that. Now, the cool thing about this is, even if you go down the wrong routes and you are imagining or believing, negative things, and so negative things are manifesting, the universe is still deeply in love with you and is supporting you. So, whether or not you're an illusion or relative or not, the universe is in this play of life, and it's still supporting you, it's still holding you. So you still have a chance. Even though that played out, you're still going to end up in a good place. So, you have to kind of have the mentality or the mindset that the universe is supporting you, is helping you, and is helping you throughout your journey and way. So if you have that mindset, you really have no fear when these kind of hiccups happen, that you manifested something that, you really didn't want to manifest, but it happened. But the thing to know is you have that safety net. You're always safe. Now, going into, how is it that you can be manifesting things and there's no one there? Well, the way that you can do that is through energy and love. And so that's what I teach in my unconditional course, is I teach the power of unconditional love. And so when you strip everything away, including, this whole illusion, the thing that still is there is love. And so it's an unconditional love, and you can even take the word unconditional love away if you don't yet know the definition of that, because, this isn't a love like a romantic love. This isn't a love like a mother and child love. This is a very deep love that can really surpass everything, and can surpass and see through evil and all these things and really love it. It's a very non-judgmental love. And in this love, because it's so unjudgmental, everything dissolves into oneness. Everything goes back into unity, because it's not in opposition to each other. Okay, so there's not these two sides that are saying, no, I'm better, or this is a better way of doing this, and this is the wrong way, or this is sinful and this is not sinful. There is now this love of saying, hey, I love all of you, even all of your most ugly, most evil parts, I love that. And the other side is saying, I love all of you too. And so it relaxes and it becomes one. So that's what's happening, in that area, in that realm. But anyway, aside from that, going back and talking about the law of attraction, how is this even happening? It's all happening through love, okay? So you're getting to choose your adventure, I guess you want to call it, through love, and how much love you're resonating with and how much love you're giving to that thing. So if you are, in alignment, or really wanting, let's say this brand new job that you've applied for and all this stuff. So your desires are in having this brand new job. So your heart, is feeling this love, this excitement, and, this joy about having this job, and this desire, and all of these things are starting to happen. And you can physically feel it inside your chest. You can physically feel it maybe even in your stomach, maybe even in other parts of your body. So this is a very, very strong, energetic kind of love. And this kind of love can really be seen with energy. I mean, if we were to take a picture of you, and, where we were taking a picture of the energy, we would see more energy coming out when you are having the unconditional love. So when you're in a state of loving something, then it gives it power. And you can even see that within relationships, within life. When you're first falling in love in a relationship, or you're in a very loving relationship, you have like this immense amount of energy and love, and just kind of like this superpower of being able to do all kinds of things. Like, you know, maybe typically you would go to work and feel exhausted at the end of the day, but now you're in love, so you go to work, but you're so excited at the end of the day. You have all this energy because you get to see the person that you love. Maybe you're going on a date, so all of a sudden you're energized, you're happy, you know. So that's this unconditional love, that we're going to harness that unconditional love and put that towards everything else. And so that unconditional love is what is choosing your adventure. So maybe you're not so much choosing that, but your emotions and that unconditional love is choosing whether or not you like something or you don't like something. And regardless of if you like it or not, if there's a strong emotion there, it's going to manifest. And if there's the imagination there of what could happen, and you'll kind of notice within yourself, and it's just something to pay attention to. A lot of times, you know, especially as a mother like myself, I'm always in this kind of preventative stage, and that's part of my conditioning and programming of growing up and everything that I've been through. And so when I'm in that stage of being preventative, especially around my daughter, you know, maybe she's going to go off and she's going to go to cheer camp, or maybe she's going to go spend the night with a friend, and I'm already thinking ahead, like a whole bunch of steps of everything that could and would happen. And a lot of times that's something very negative, like, oh, did you take your vitamins because I don't want you to get sick? And so if you see there, I've already started to project or even imagine a scenario where she's gotten sick because she hasn't taken a multivitamin, even though that's not what's happened. So I'm already creating this scenario and putting it into place, and it has the potential to really materialize and become, you know, in the physical, where she could actually get sick for that. And if you notice, we're constantly doing that throughout the day, but usually imagining very negative scenarios. So we want to kind of flip that mindset and start imagining very beautiful scenarios, very loving scenarios. And that's just something that you can do with your own self, with your emotion and your heart, and really leaning into, what do you wish to happen? What do you desire to happen? You know, we all have desires that come up just like emotions, and there's nothing wrong with desires. That's how this whole world came to be, was because of desires. That's how we have all these beautiful and amazing inventions and things that we use and have today that create us so much comfort and beauty. So desire is not something negative. Desire is something negative when we really don't believe that we deserve it, when we are not at the level of our desire. So here's our desire, but maybe we believe we're less than that desire, that we are not worthy of having that desire. Then we suffer because we don't feel worthy. We feel less than, we feel small. But when you have the mentality and the paradigm that you are everything, that you are worthy, you're infinite, and then you have a direct source power to whatever it is that you want, then that desire becomes very lovely, very beautiful, and it's something that is just part of you now. It's just there. It's accessible to you at all times. So that is how that law of attraction and non-duality actually go side and side. Okay, because there doesn't need to be someone there in order for this to all happen. There never has been. There never has been anybody there. So there's not someone there, whether or not you've had a realization or a glimpse or anything in your life like that. There's never been anybody there, and there's never been anybody here. Yet this whole time we feel like we've been doing it. We feel like we've been achieving and maybe not achieving, or whatever, different things throughout life. And so there doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the feeling or not feeling of a person there for things to happen. Life goes on, and like I've mentioned in other videos, life is going to continue to go on whether or not you engage with life or participate in life or give life love. That's up to you. You know, that part you can control. And what you do, how you go with that is just living your life as if you're doing it. And that's how I live my life. I don't worry about if there's a self or no self or whatever. I know that there is no self because I've had an experience that I can't go back from, that I can't unsee. So that is my kind of baseline with that. But I don't identify with not having a self. If someone was to ask me, about that, I feel more comfortable talking about that there is a self, and that I am this human expression, and telling people about myself and the different things that this character enjoys doing, the different preferences it has, because I really love this character, and this character has lots of different hobbies and ideas and things it gets involved with and does, and I love that about this character. And right now my consciousness is in this character, so this is where my attention is at, okay? And I'm loving whatever I have my attention on or with. And of course, everything is me, and I don't see these boundaries between myself and this wall and all these things. So I can move around life in a very loving way. So that happens naturally. But even if it didn't happen naturally, it's something that you can learn to do. It's not something that is, so far out of this realm to be able to do. It's actually part of your actual natural human nature, is to be very loving. That's actually one of the very special things about being a human, is relationships. We have very, very deep relationships with each other, and we have relationships with everything, whether you realize it or not. We have a relationship with our food, we have a relationship with nature, we have a relationship with our pets, with our home. We're in relationship to everything. And as soon as we neglect any part of those relationships, for example, if I start neglecting parts of my home, that's why I'm filming in different parts of my home, because I don't spend sometimes a lot of time in certain parts of my home. If I start neglecting certain parts of my home, then that certain parts of my home are going to behave and look like they're being neglected. I might get spider webs in these corners. I might have, part of the wall starts to fall apart, or, there's going to be issues. So you want to have a good relationship with everything and give it attention as if it were a person that you're in relationship with. It's not a person, but it is literally the same essence to what you are. This picture frame is the same essence to what I am. And it has its own energies, and it has its own needs, and it needs attention just like I do. Maybe not as much attention as a human does, but it needs some attention, or things begin to happen. And just like the human body deteriorates if you don't pay attention to it, other things in life do too. So everything is in relationship to each other. There doesn't need to be a self there for there to be this relationship. It's a dual play of life. Of course, it's an illusion. It's not happening. That's why it's a play. It's a play of life. We're playing here. We're like children. We're imagining, pirates and princesses. We're imagining here. This is fun. This shouldn't be an anxious or depressive thing. This is a very fun, open, flowy thing. And, we've been given different laws and different aids here to kind of work with. And one of those is the law of attraction. And so that's not apart from non-duality. It's not a part or, some evil stepchild or something that we're not paying attention to. It's actually something to your benefit that you can actually use. Just like there is many other laws in this universe, Maybe we could talk about, like I said, the law of gravity, the fact that we're not floating around everywhere. That law is helping us here to stay grounded, because in this world, we're grounded, okay? We're not the kind that's floating around, so we're having that sort of experience. And so the reason the law of attraction exists is because we are always in relationship to abundance. What we are is abundance. In order to create this whole illusion, we literally have to be abundant. We have to be infinity in order to create all of this. So all of this is just created out of nothing. And so if all of this can be created out of nothing, whatever petty desires you have, whether that's, a certain dollar amount or a certain sports car, or maybe it's a little deeper than that, maybe it's starting a cause or an organization or charity for something, all of that can of course be given to you, or can be, funded through the universe to you. All of this is completely accessible to you. If this whole world is an illusion, why wouldn't you be, able to have an illusion of this or that? You have complete access to it. And here's the real kicker. Here's the real shocker. You have a direct line connection, because what you are is not just nothing. It's not that there's no self there. The real secret is a lot deeper than that. And so the real secret is a lot deeper than that. You have a direct line to that God-like consciousness, and so you can actually work with that. And there's no fears of this being something evil, because there's no one for it to be evil for. There's no one there, okay? Having this realization of non-duality or nothingness, or this void as you can call it, whatever you want to call it, the experience I had was going into basically a void and realizing that there was nothing, and there was literally not this body, not anything to connect to, that there was. I saw, prior to. And where that space is, there was nothing. And when I say nothing, there is nothing. And from that nothingness came oneness. And from that oneness, there was this sense of being one, which was now becoming to feel a little bit separate now, right? With the oneness. But everything was still, there were separate appearances, but everything was still one. And that's where I mostly reside, although I've seen the void. And because I've seen the void, I know that there is no evil or anything that can touch this. This is, this is omnipresent, as they say. It can't be changed. It's here now and forever, okay? It's like they say, the Alpha and the Omega. It's not going to change, and it cannot be tainted. There is no evil, nothing's going to come upon it, nothing's going to happen to it. What it is has always been and will be perfect. So what's before the oneness, what is the void, what is what I saw, that is all perfect. No amount of any evil in this world, whether you do law of attraction, whether you believe in this religion, whether you do this, whether you eat, meat, whether you eat junk food, none of it's going to taint or change the perfection of what is. That is there, period. So because I know that, I can tell you that there is no evil in law of attraction. If there is any evil, as there's things in this relative world that we see that kind of drain energy, or kind of, change and kind of, brainwash people and things like that, there are situations in this relative reality that do that. Law of attraction is not one of them. Law of attraction is actually counteracting all of those actual negative programming. Is counteracting the states of hypnosis that I've talked about in other videos. Is counteracting that negative energy or that low energy or whatever people feel tired and things like that. When you're feeling drained, when you're feeling tired, when you're having negative thoughts, negative self-talk, maybe very negative relationships, all of this kind of stuff happening, actually law of attraction counteracts that. If you are in the state of really believing and keeping your attention on what you want and believing that you are what you want, then all of these other things really can't survive in that environment, so they just go away. It's such an easy fix that I'm very surprised that more people don't talk about this or engage with this. And there is absolutely nothing evil going to come of this. What's evil would be more like not paying attention to the law of attraction, or completely, disengaging or, disregarding it, and going to the other realm of believing all your negative thoughts as if they're yours. And that's where the majority of people actually reside and live in their heads, is actually believing the thoughts and beliefs and ideas that come through their minds, even though that's not them. They take those thoughts and take them and own them as if they are themselves. That is not you, okay? None of this stuff is you, okay? You are free, you are flowy, you are like water. You just go wherever life takes you. And in doing that, you love, you enjoy, you don't like, whatever. And through that, the law of attraction begins to work and decides, hey, she wants more of this, or she wants more of that, or actually she doesn't want this, but she's thinking about it so much, she's gonna get it, And so these things just play out that way. It's just one of these laws. And the law is actually meant to work in your favor, but so many people just regard it or don't want to believe it. But as soon as you believe it, everything begins to change. And that's not something this is so much easier than having a non-dual realization, because non-dual realization is going to happen for you probably at some point on some timeline. But is it going to happen on this timeline? And are all the elements of that timeline, really happening at this point in time? There is no time, but we are experiencing, it seems like, a sliver of time. And I've talked about that when I talk about time, and you can go back and watch a video about that. that basically all of time is existing like a big birthday cake, let's say, but we've decided to cut this one, and so we have this one, and we're eating our cake, but the other cake, the cake is still there. It's still there in the table, and we're eating ours. So we're only eating and experiencing this cake that we're eating, but all of it is in existence right now. But the piece of cake that we have and whatever's on that cake, whether it has like a piece of strawberry or a piece of peach or whatever, that's only on my piece of cake. You know, what's on the whole piece of cake is over there on the whole piece of cake. Is what's, you know, on my piece of cake, is that going to lead to that non-dual awakening? I don't know. So to know that, you'd need to do, you know, some more work, not work necessarily. It's just kind of imagining and getting into a space where you can really work with your timelines and things like that. Like I say, you're actually nothing, but you have a direct source energy and direct access to all this information if you wanted it. But you have to get to that state, and that state, it doesn't require a non-dual awakening. It doesn't require understanding the law of attraction. It doesn't require anything. It requires getting calm and quiet with yourself and asking a question. That's all it requires. And all of this stuff is just happening. But anyway, the law of attraction, the other reason it cannot be evil, okay, I've talked about how the void, there is nothing there, so there's no one for it to be evil for, so nothing can touch it. That's the main reason why it's not evil. Now, the second reason it's not evil is because everything that you're manifesting or wanting is already in existence right here and now. So like I just explained, the cake that's sitting on the table, all of that, it may be different things that you've been wanting to manifest. It's already here and now. The universe has said, here's your cake. It's already here. You have it. They haven't said, hey, you know, when you want this piece of cake, come to me and, you know, pay me a little bit of money, or, you know, give me this thing or whatever. No, it's already here and now. The universe has said it's yours. And all the universe is saying, when you want the piece of cake that you want, just come and get it. Come and get it and believe that you can have it. That's all. That's all. And there's a Bible verse like that in the Bible. It says, I'm not really sure on it. It says something like, pray and believe that it is yours and it shall be yours, or something to that effect. And that's basically what I'm saying here, is that this cake is here and now. All of it's here. It can't be evil because it's already been given to you. The gift has been given to you. All you do have to do is to receive it, to say, yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. But if you're in the mentality of thinking, oh, I'm not good enough for that, I can't have that, or no, that's too much, then no, then you can't have it. But the gift is there. Whether or not you want it, that's up to you, you know, and your choice in your heart, whether or not that's what you want to do. So that's why it's not evil. It's all here and now anyway. It's not like you had to make a deal with the devil in order to get this item or this thing. No, the universe has gladly given it to you and given you more and said, hey, here's the cake. And if there's anything missing, don't worry, this is infinity. I can give that to you too. Like, it's just constantly giving. What you have to be is in the state of receiving. And so you'll notice there's some people that, you know, you offer them things like, would you like a glass of water? Or, you know, I have this extra, you know, piece of gum. Would you like a piece of gum? And, you know, you notice these people, and a lot of times they're always saying, no, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you. And it's really a sort of unworthiness that they have within themselves. So really, you want to be in a state of receiving. So when people offer you things, get into the habit of accepting, of receiving. When people want to help you, like bring something out to your car, or maybe they want to help you look for something in the store, maybe they're, you know, a sales associate and they're noticing you're looking at electronics and you need help with something, allow them to help you and then be very grateful to them for their help. You know, you're receiving from them and then you're giving them thanks. And this pattern of giving and receiving will open up more and more, and throughout your life, you'll be able to have more of these kind of interactions with life of giving and receiving. But if you're someone that's always like, no, no, thank you, and you know, you're kind of on your own and you say no to everything, then you're going to have less and less of those experiences. Nothing right or wrong about it, but it's just a preference of what you would like. If you want to engage with life, you want to be open and receiving to life. So it's just about what you want. So this video really is just to talk about, is the law of attraction evil? It's not evil, guys, okay? This law of attraction is just a law put in place basically to benefit you and to make your life very easy. But up until now in humanity and humanity's history, if we can talk about a timeline, if we can talk about a time period, even though that doesn't exist, there was times that in humanity, humans had to survive, and they were in that survival mindset, and they were really in that survival mindset all the way up until maybe even the last 100 years, you know. And so now we're in this more technological age, and we have a lot more comforts, a lot more luxuries, a lot more leisure time. And so this is all new to us, and so everything's changing. The paradigm is changing out of survival to abundance, and abundance has always been there, but we haven't been tapped into it because of our environment and experiences. But our environment now is safe, it's calm. So if you look around your environment, really be grateful for it. That'll also program within you that you are no longer in that survival state. You have a nice home, you're in a nice, clean, safe, maybe work environment, maybe home, wherever you're at, and kind of continue to really be grateful for those things, and that'll begin to reprogram that mind that has come not just from your own programming, but from programming from ancestors, and that's in your DNA. That is very hard to change right now, but it's going to begin to change now. This is the time that it's changing. But the way that you change that is by really recognizing what is this reality now. And unless you've had a non-dual realization and you see how perfect and wonderful this world is now, you're going to have to probably focus on it a little bit and just kind of be in that mindset of being grateful. And one thing you can do is, like in your journal, doing 5 things you're grateful for before you go to bed every night. Just having a practice of gratitude somewhere within your day, whether that's when you're walking around on, you know, your exercise route, or when you're going to bed and you're writing in that journal. You want to have that practice of really letting the mind know that you're not in survival, you're in abundance right now. And when you're in abundance, more abundance comes in, and it's attracted to you, and it knows it's safe to come to you. So I just wanted to share those bits of things with you, and just let you know that law of attraction is really just a tool that is there for you to use, and it would be silly not to use such a tool that makes life so easy. So if you're interested in learning about the law of attraction, there's many people that speak on it. In particular, I found that I really enjoy listening to Bob Proctor. And so he was on The Secret many years ago. But for me, the law of attraction hasn't really come from teachings or learnings. It's just come from my own need after a non-dual awakening, really feeling free, but then noticing I didn't have the freedom in my finances. So in that, I began to work that on my own. And through that, you know, I came to find out about Bob Proctor. And I really believe that, you know, he had a good understanding about the paradigm, which is really needs to shift, which is what shifts when you have a non-dual realization. But you don't need to have a non-dual realization in order to have that paradigm shift. So if you're interested in that, maybe look into him. Or if you want to work alongside with me, like I offer one-on-one sessions and different opportunities for y'all, including memberships and other things, where I can also share that information with you on a more personal basis. So anyhow, if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you like this sort of content, I would love to have you here. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to leave me a comment or anything down below, I would love to have it. And my information is also in the description box if you need to email me or anything like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to give you all a reminder that there are still 2 spots available in the unconditional course. And so the information for that will be in the comment section pinned. And so if you want more information on that, just give me an email and I can get you enrolled and started in that. Thanks so much for watching.